Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Jason and welcome back to the Abyss Garage. And if you guys happen to catch my last episode on this shovel head build, you could see me go ahead and assembling key components and actually making sure this bike runs. And with that being said, my hardtail kit has come in. I decided to go with a Voodoo Fabrication weld-on hardtail kit for this bike. So now that I know I got a good running bike, we can go ahead and get this frame chopped. So for today's video, I'm going to be taking the back half of the bike apart, which should be relatively simple, and go ahead, get this frame cut, and to see about at least getting this frame tacked in place to make sure everything is good to go before a final weld is done. So let's get to it. And now behind me is a disassembled shovel head. Went ahead and had to remove the engine, drivetrain, pretty much everything from engine back. You're not able to do this, or I don't think you should be able to do this with the engine in place. The rocker cover itself is way too close to the frame itself, so that warrants the engine being removed. However, I left the front end of the bike on and in the wheel chalk just to give itself some stability. And I have this propped up on some lumber here. and got the frame set. So that way, even though there's no weight back here, we're still relatively solid. And so now I can begin the task of cutting this perfectly good frame up. After checking my work many times, this is where I feel this hardtail kit is going to want to sit on this frame. And so what I ended up doing here is use the ratchet strap around the table itself to the frame to hold her in place to act as an extra hand, and use the long ratchet strap with a axle that I had kicking around, actually the stock swing arm axle, just to act as another hand and pull the frame up if I needed to, which it did. And I used a laser level here, and I was able to shoot a line from the back. There's actually a mark on the casting part of the down tube, or where the pogo seat actually goes into. So shot a line all the way, and I was able to actually hit all my points. And I know that this back of this hardtail kit is centered evenly, and that this bike is going to want to run straight down the road. Now the next thing I have to do is I have to take this apart. I got to chamfer these edges and drill some holes for some rosette welds for added strength. So that'll be the next task, and go ahead and get this tacked in place. So with my luck, the GoPro battery ended up dying while I was starting to TIG weld this into place, as you guys can see for a split second. But went ahead and tack welded up here in a couple spots and down here as well. So this frame is not going anywhere for the time being. Luckily I have friends that are much better at TIG welding, and gonna get some help with that, just being that's a frame, and safety is important when it comes to that. So the one last thing I got to do before I can actually take this down and then get it fully welded is the bungs itself. It comes with bungs here for the transmission plate where it bolts up to. So that's going to be really simple. So luckily in my extra pile of parts here, I had like two extras of these, but this is what the transmission sits on. So I'll just go ahead and bolt this in place, get this to sit where it needs to be, and so that way these rear bungs are in the place where they're going to be, and that way I can get them tacked as well, and I should be good to go to get this, break it down and get it fully welded. Hardtail is tacked in place, and I am very happy how everything turned out, especially considering this was my first hardtail conversion. And cutting up a perfectly good frame, it's a little nerve-wracking to say the least, but once the first cut's done, you got to keep moving forward. So with that being said, if you guys are doing a conversion, what I found worked really well for me was using the stock rear axle. And that allowed me to take a ratchet strap and go around the front of the bike and act as like a third hand in holding the hardtail itself in place and allowing me to do small adjustments before tacking this up, which I thought worked out really well. And it also confirmed that all the laser measuring I did, this frame, as far as I'm concerned, is square, especially without a jig. So like I said, really happy. Time consuming to do it all, but well worth it in the end, because this bike will track down the road straight. So I still have a lot of work to do, and my welding skills are not quite there yet, so I'm going to have, luckily enough, I have really nice friends that are going to help me along the way, get this frame fully welded properly, so I don't have to have any thoughts in the back of my head about a weld cracking. And but in the meantime, I have a lot of work to do back here as far as fabrication goes, as far as a fender mount, brake mount, so forth and so on. So in the upcoming videos, you'll be seeing that going on with this bike. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And if you guys would have done things differently or whatnot, this Voodoo Vintage Hardtail kit I thought was pretty nice, especially the quality. And for the price, you can't beat it. So far, I would recommend this kit to someone else. I'm not paid or sponsored by them, but seems like to be a really good kit. And we'll see you guys around for the next video. Until then, take care.